JEM is my name, no one else is the same. JEM is my name. JEM.
Alright, lot going on here. So, her name is not Susan, it's Chrissy. Chrissy is falling off of some scaffolding and it's not the award show yet, it's just a Misfits concert, so it's not an award show. But Chrissy is falling to her death, about to go splat, and it occurs to me that there's a bunch of kids at the Starlight home. One of them's got to be named Susan, right? No, probably not. Anyway, so she falls off, but her backpack catches on a, part of the scaffolding, and so she doesn't fall to her death. The runaway boy who's up there too helps her down. But he got into the concert by stealing a ticket from a scalper who catches him and is like, that cost me $50, so you're gonna have to work to pay me back. So he invites the kids back to his bus hideout. He's hollowed out a bus, which is very roomy on the inside for a bus, even with some of the seats removed. That's a very wide bus. And so the Starlight girls and this boy, whose name is Susan, not easy for a man named Susan, are talking, and they're like, and he's, I'm a runaway. And they're like, hey, we're runaways too. And he's like, oh, your home life must have been terrible. And they're like, no, actually, we lived in a mansion. It was pretty great. And he was, oh, well. And he doesn't skip a beat because he's a good kid. He's like, oh, well, then you must have just had a really horrible home life. Like they were mean to you or abusive or something like that. And they're like, no, they treated us great and bought us stuff. And they tell him all about their lives there at the Starlight House. And he says,
You ran away? Wish I'd had it that good. You must be 3 of the dumbest girls I ever met.
yeah. They left just because they had the JEM and the Holograms weren't paying enough attention to them. Actually, Deidre left because JEM and Jerica wasn't paying enough attention to her, and Bonnie and Chrissy left with her essentially to keep her out of trouble. So, the social services guy, which the Misfits called on them, says if those kids don't show up by the night of the benefit concert, we're shutting down Starlight House. So here's one of the issues I have with this particular episode. JEM et al. Don't really proactively do anything to find the girls. They just kind of leave it up to fate that the girls will show up at the benefit. I mean, what else can they do, maybe? But you'd think they'd have a bit more proactivity, a bit more agency. Other than, well, shoot, I sure do hope they show up before the deadline. Spoilers, they do. The scalper tells the kid, okay, go into the store there and steal some stuff worth $50. And the girls, of course, no, don't do that. And the guy's like, oh yeah? And Chrissy is like, yeah, mother... Deidre and Bonnie are like, we should run. But Chrissy's having none of that. But the cops drive by, and I'm telling this a little bit out of order, but the spider. Hang on. That is a spider. Oh well. Spiders. Pay rent, freeloading spider! It's like the second time today I've had to yell at a spider to pay rent. It never works, but it makes me feel better. Anyway, so cops are driving by and they see the scalper and his cohort and the kids, and it's like, hey, is that Steve and Larry, those ne'er-do-wells? Yeah, better go get them. And so we get in a foot chase with the cops chasing after, and the kids are running too because they're kids and they're dumb. And they get over the fence, but the cops actually catch the scalper and the other guy. And the cops are actually treated pretty well, character-wise. They're like, you stupid scalper and other guy, those kids are are now afraid of us, and hopefully they'll get help somewhere.
You all right, buddy?
Yeah, the kids?
Running like rabbits.
Yeah, I got them so scared of cops they won't come within a mile of one.
Yeah, if it hadn't been for your manly assistance, we might have helped those kids.
I hope they've got the brains to get help from somebody.
At least these cops didn't immediately think, damned kids, we must throw them in jail. So that's nice. Some pretty good characterizations, all told, I think. So the kids actually, they end up going to the benefit concert because it's a benefit for a home with runaways, which is where they end up. And from there, Dan says, "Hey, want to go to the benefit concert?" And they're like, "Do we? Jem and the Holograms is there." So they end up, and it's all fine. The Misfits are the only ones at the video or the music awards, so they win. And Pizzazz has a wonderful, wonderful speech.
I'd like to thank the awards people for having the good taste to give us this award, which we so definitely deserve.
And then she says, "Let's go to the benefit concert so I can wave this in Jem's face and go neener neener." Eric Bad Guy sent Tech Rat ahead to do that signal jammer thing. I guess the original plan was to, like I said in the last episode, was to screw up their performance at the the music awards. But now that they're doing their benefit concert, he can just screw up the entire benefit concert. So Tech Rat is sitting there in the audience, jamming the concert, and all the feedback and wow. And how is this resolved? Well, not well. This is another criticism I have with this episode is the boy, the runaway boy who's now there, he's just, "Hey dude, what's that?" He says, pointing at Tech Rat. He just spots Tech Rat in the crowd just holding a thing, and that's how that's resolved.
All right, we're back in business.
That could have been resolved better. Also, the whole thing with Deidre wanting to be a hologram and playing guitar and wanting Jem and or Jerica to check out her new music, that doesn't actually come into play. I thought there might be something like, Jem and the Holograms can't go on with the signal blocker because we can't do the hologram thing. Deidre, get your guitar and get out on stage. No, none of that doesn't really come up again. I mean, that would be kind of unbelievable, but because the whole sound system didn't work, so what was she going to do with like an acoustic guitar? But so when anyway, so the kid spots Tech Rat and sound is resolved. The concert goes out without a hitch. The Misfits show up and Pizzazz is standing in the back. And but nobody sees her. Nobody cares. And Pizzazz is like, quivery lip. And I'm not sure exactly how to read her face. I don't know if her heart grew 3 sizes that day, or if she's just disappointed that that the concert wasn't ruined, or that Jem is not paying attention to her, or if she's having some crisis of conscience where she's starting to realize the true value of friendship or something. I'm really not sure, but it is a pretty funny moment. So everything gets resolved pretty well. I mean, maybe not in the most narratively satisfying way, but there is one really great sequence in the middle of the episode. Oh, the first song with You Ought to See the View from Here. It plays during the sequence I'm about to describe by the Misfits. It's a good song. I like that one. It's also got a really great transition from a grate in the middle of the road has water dripping into a sewer and the camera's under it looking up through the grate. That transitions into window blinds that are being rained on. It's a really neat transition. Anyway, good song too. So the Misfits are doing a stunt where they hang glide over the city and dump posters, and one of the posters lands on a cab which nearly crashes into a wall. So yeah, not only are they littering, they're being unsafe. And Pizzazz has a laser gun that Tech Rat gave her to test out. And Eric's like,
You let Pizzazz loose with a laser gun?
what's wrong with you, dude? Because again, no one likes the Misfits, and he knows giving Pizzazz a laser gun is not a good idea. Anyway, so they're hang gliding around. Pizzazz shoots the JEM billboard on top of the Starlight Music building to give JEM a mustache. I'm like, she's not going to leave it there. She doesn't leave it there. She starts shooting at the thing. She knocks the billboard off the roof. I'm like, oh my god, is someone going to get crushed under the falling billboard? No, she only blasts one of the supports. So instead of falling to the ground, it just swings into the window of JEM's office, which looks like it probably should have killed everybody in there, if not only for flying glass. But, you know, everyone ends up fine. So here's the great bit. We're 13 episodes, I think, into this series, and I've talked a lot about how the Misfits are constantly nearly getting people killed. JEM nearly kills Pizzazz, because she sees Pizzazz hang gliding outside, and she's like, Showtime, Synergy. And she creates a hologram of a giant hawk that's like quasicodal size. It's like, wah! And Pizzazz is like, ah! And she like spins out of control, drops out of her hang glider rig. The hang glider rig crashes into a tree, and she lands in a creek or a pond or something, so she lives. And Eric, bad guy, observes that she's okay in the most matter-of-fact, nonchalant way that kind of communicates it. He doesn't really... It's good for business that she survived, but he's not really personally jazzed about it. He's just like, oh, she survived.
Oh no.
She's all right.
Oh, poor little Pizzazz.
My laser.
Of course, Tech Rat is like, oh my god, you destroyed my laser gun. So, chalk one up for JEM. She nearly got Pizzazz killed, so that's fun. I hope there's a Starlight girl named Susan. I hope there's a Susan somewhere in this show. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
We run away from home. I'm on my own, too.
Maybe we ought to stick together, Danny.
Yeah, it's not safe for three girls to be by themselves. We can... Ah!
Gotcha.
Let go! Let me go!